Welcome to the best 5-minute wine podcast with Forrest Kelly.
I've always said I could eat pizza every day. And for a couple of months, I actually did. Back when I was living in the Seattle area, I was insulating new homes, working 12 to 14 hours a day. Every night on my way home, I'd swing by a place called Alfie's Pizza and grab a pepperoni pizza to go. Same order, night after night, 2 months straight. I was basically on a first-name basis with a delivery box. That's how deep my love for pizza runs. But here's the thing. Pizza doesn't live alone. It's a perfect partner to wine. Pizza is like wine's best friend. Pepperoni with a bold Chianti. Margherita with a crisp Sauvignon Blanc. Meat lovers with a Zinfandel. Suddenly your Friday night takeout feels like a fancy Italian date. So today, we're talking with Erika to dig into slices, stories, and sips that make pizza and wine irresistible.
Hi, I'm Erika D'Arcangelo, and I'm the author of A Story About Pizza. Well, I grew up in pizza, and I was born into a pizzeria, quite literally. My grandfather was an Italian immigrant, and he worked in the coal mines, and this is a lot of what my book is about, is his story of his life. He was pulled out of school at 11 years old. And he decided that he had this dream of making pizza, but he didn't know how he was going to get there. So he opened up a pizzeria in 1960. My father was born around 1960 and basically has been there his whole life. And our whole family was born into this pizzeria, and we really had it in our family, and we still have it today. So it's a little town called Wimber, PA, and it's named after the Berwind White coal mines. And so in the 1900s, a lot of immigrants came over from Italy and all parts of the world, and they worked in the coal mines, and they lived in this little town called Wimber. Even in our pizzeria, we have a lot of the old coal mining things that my grandfather owned. So D'Arc's Pizza started in 1960, and he actually started it a little bit before that because he opened an Italian market. And he bought a building that was owned by Berwind White, and it was an old Erika store. And he and my grandmother sold different, pastas and tomato sauce and just different, market items that people from the town would go in there and they would get. And then one day he and my grandmother and their friend were talking, and they decided to start making pizza, because this was always my grandfather's dream was to make pizza and to leave something for his family so that none of us had to go work in the coal mines. Oh, the pizza's amazing. It's still my favorite pizza to this day. My family's from Abruzzo, Italy. And so I think from watching his family, and we are very lucky to have very talented cooks and bakers in our family. So my grandfather was really, making pizza, and then he would make homemade hot sausage and meatball sandwiches and rolls from La Monica's, which was the local bakery. And so he just was a really, really good cook. And my grandmother her family was from a small village in Italy right by Abruzzo called Chianti. And it was a very similar situation. So, my grandfather and grandmother were both very gifted at cooking and baking. And then also their parents were, or at least his mother was very, very good cook.
Fast forward to now, what made you want to center your life and your work and things around pizza?
So I've had a marketing career for over 20 years. And, I was really in a driven, stressful type A situation where I was really working a lot. Really what ended up happening is that, my dad ended up getting sick a few years ago. So what I did was I told my husband and my daughter at the time, I said, we're going to go home. We're going to move back to Pennsylvania for a year. I really felt like my parents needed help. My dad had just got out of heart surgery, and I went home, and my dad was recovering, and he really wasn't doing well physically. And I thought, you know what, he needs to get out of the house. And so I said to my dad, hey, let's go to the shop a few hours a week, and, I'll do your marketing for free. And, I actually was very burn out with marketing at that point in time. But I was like, I'm going to help my dad. This is something that I can do. I feel like, I'm just going to help him out, even though I really at this point don't want to do marketing for anyone. I just want to take a break. So we started driving there, and my dad started telling me all the stories about, our family and my grandfather. And we would get there, and I really saw him come alive. He started talking to all the customers, and it was really helping him to heal from the surgery. And he even decided he was going to restore the 1905 building and make it look like it looked at the beginning and hang pictures of all the family members. And I was filming content, and we had this whole thing we were doing together, and it was really special. And I decided that I was going to write a book about my grandfather's journey and about the pizzeria, just because for me, walking in there wasn't just like walking into a pizzeria. Like, you walk in and you feel the presence of your family, and it's so nostalgic, and there's so many memories, and so many people from the town come in, and it's just like a very special place.
The best 5-minute one podcast.
Don't forget my favorite part.
Please like and follow. Oh,